Welcome back. For the next part of our training, we're going to cover how to audit tractor maintenance files. This is going to be hands-on training. That means you'll have to pause the video where you need to in order to complete the process steps of auditing a maintenance file. We're going to now navigate through the T drive in order to find the maintenance file audit form. First, you want to click on the T drive, then click on Gulf Coast Division folder, click on the All Region Info folder, and then ESMI folder. Once you're there, you'll choose the workbook entitled Maintenance File Audit Forms. Once you open that workbook, make sure you choose the right tab for the type of file that you're auditing. Today we're going to be using the tractor file audit form. Click on that tab to begin our audit. We're going to be auditing the maintenance file for tractor 39711. So we want to go ahead and enter that information into the header of our document. Next, type in the location and yard number and the date. Now with this information completed, we now move on to entering the information from our PM workbook in line 15 of the audit form. To do this, we have to navigate back through the T drive to the ESMI folder and open up the Excel sheet entitled 2018 PM Workbook. Once you have the workbook open, you want to make sure that you have the correct tab. Click on Tractor PMs and enter the tractor number into the filter from column B. As you can see, this tractor has accumulated 302 hours since the last PM. That means this truck is in need of being serviced, as the flag indicates. Once the next PM is done and reported back to me, I'll clear out the hours in the spreadsheet, and the flag will indicate that the tractor has been serviced recently and meets the 300-hour service interval. Now that we know when the last PM was conducted, let's go ahead and go back to our audit form and enter that information on line 15 of our form. Once we do that, we need to turn to tab 3 of our maintenance file and locate how many entries have been logged since last PM. We see here that our last PM highlighted in blue on the recap sheet, and that the number of entries below it amount to 9. We also want to note that the entry for June 1st is a DOT violation, highlighted in yellow. So as we validate these entries, we want to be sure that a copy of the DOT ticket and work order or invoice of repair are stapled together and found behind the supervisor's inspection in tab 5 of our maintenance file. Again, these will be organized in ascending order or most current on top. Now we're back here in our file audit form. I've entered the number of entries from the recap sheet since the last PM in line 16 of the form, right here. And I have also entered the date of those entries on line 17 of the form. We will now try to locate work orders and invoices matching those dates. Well, now we're back again to our file audit form. I was unable to validate any of the work orders or invoices for the recap journal entries. So the answer to the question here on line 16 of our audit form, all entries validated since last PM, is no. So in this case, I will note that in the comment section of the form that documentation of the entries in the recap sheet are in need of proper documentation. Once this is corrected, the manager or supervisor can enter in his comments within the spaces provided for corrective action taken. So again, I'll put my comments here, and once it's corrected, the supervisor can enter their comments down below. Now let's continue on with critiquing the remaining parts of the maintenance file using the audit form. Let's take a look and make sure that our file has a notice on the front cover. This is what we're looking for. 3 points will be awarded to the yard for that documentation. Next, the vehicle ID record. We want to verify that the information is accurate. And this is what we're looking for. You'll want to validate the annual inspection date and mileage using the official state mandated inspection sheet located behind the registration. So we know this is correct. I've gone ahead and checked that information from the state mandated inspection. Next, we want to verify that the registration is up to date and that we have a copy in our maintenance file. As you take a look there, the registration, the copy of the registration in this maintenance file is expired, so we'll need an updated copy. So no points will be awarded to the yard for this information. Next, the state inspection. It is up to date and the most current. So 5 points will be awarded to the yard for that documentation. Next, we want to check the overweight permit, that it's current, and that we have a photo of the equipment and the maintenance schedule is in the maintenance file. Here's the photo of the equipment and a schedule of maintenance. So 5 points awarded for each of those line items. Now we move on to the maintenance and repair recap sheet. Earlier, we reviewed the information from the recap sheet and found that the entries did not match the number of work orders and invoices in our file. We do, however, have an up-to-date recap sheet with journal entries throughout the year. If you notice large gaps between entry dates for repair, this should alert you that you have missing information from the file. You should have a minimum of 1 entry per month in the recap sheet unless the tractor is down for repair. The auditor can choose to adjust the point value awarded to each yard for completion of the recap record sheet. The example, the sheet, if it's missing half a year's entries, the auditor can split the 12 points in half and award only 6 points for the recap sheet. However, this sheet is complete, so we'll go ahead and award the yard 12 points for this area of inspection. Now we get down to line item 18 of our audit form, invoices and work orders. We were unable to validate any of the work orders from the recap sheet, so how many points will we award the yard for invoices and work orders in this circumstance? Well, obviously, in this case, we're not giving the yard any points since we were unable to validate this information. But what if you were able to find 5 of the 9 invoices logged in the recap sheet? Well, I'm going to share with you a formula for awarding points to the yard for entries validated in the maintenance file. So simply put, take 12 and divide the number of entries since last PM, then take that number and multiply it by the number of entries validated and subtract that number from 12 points. And the sum of those two numbers is the points you will award the yard for entries validated. Here's our example. You can pause the video to apply the example to your situation. Now we'll move on to validating supervisor's inspections. Now we're going to move on to line item 20, supervisor's inspection. We require 1 year of inspections in the maintenance file. For each missing inspection, you'll subtract 2 points from the 24 given in this section of the audit form. We're missing 6 months of supervisor's inspections in our maintenance file for tractor 39711. So the points awarded to this yard will amount to 12. Now we move on to line item 21, roadside inspection reports. As we noted earlier, we were unable to validate the entry from June 1st of the recap sheet, so no points will be awarded to the yard for this entry. Next, we move on to line item 22, DVRs with defects, work orders attached. Again, we weren't able to validate this information from our recap sheet, so again, no points will be awarded to the yard for this entry. Now we're down to DVRs, current month plus 90 days. I've taken the liberty to look through our maintenance file, and all of the current month plus 90 days have been validated, so the yard will be awarded 16 points. If you're missing a month's worth of DVRs and there's no indication that the tractor was DFR or down for repair, then subtract 4 points for every month's worth of DVRs missing from the file. The file we are reviewing has documentation of the current month and 90 days DVRs. Again, so 16 points will be awarded to the yard for this portion of the audit. Now we'll go ahead and tally up the points. As you can see, the total score for this review of this tractor's maintenance file is a 61. That's a failing grade. So the audit findings will be entered into the comment section, as you can see here, and it's going to be reviewed by the manager and corrections will be made promptly. The auditor will fill in his name here in this box and enter in date. So in conclusion, we hope this video has better enabled you to conduct maintenance file audits. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll have my contact information posted at the conclusion of this video. Thank you.